Mayo Clinic, it's a diet that they have that like it's for cardio patients. It was originally given to cardio patients that needed to lose weight before they had some kind of like surgery or whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
then they changed it to the military diet and they did a little bit of a tweaking. But like it was weird. Like you'd have like five crackers and like some cheese in the morning with a cup of coffee. Like I don't know why I thought I could do it. I did
That's
it in my
the one that
20s.
you got to eat ice cream at night.
Yes,
Vanilla
ma'am.
ice.
And you, oh, that was the only thing that was amazing about it because that ice cream was very, very good. And you only had one scoop, and it was just enough to just tickle your
One
fancy.
scoop of vanilla ice cream.
They had
That
cottage cheese
I've
up
never
there.
heard.
I didn't use it. Oh,
I've
okay.
never heard of it.
You're
Oh,
not
wait
missing anything, Carlissa. You're not. You're
I,
not.
pro-
you're
I
not.
don't doubt that I'm not missing anything. I'm very clear on that one. Is there anything else, like any other myths or like fads or trends that y'all want to share?
You know,
Oh
they
yeah.
used to have this shake machine back in the day. It was supposed to shake your fat off. Now, Aunt Minnie, my Aunt Minnie had one of those. I would run over my cousin Melissa's house just so I could get up on the machine
Did it shake it
again.
at all?
I ain't lose an ounce. And that thing had me, I felt that throw up. I was like, I keep getting on this machine and feeling like every nerve in my body is going haywire.
Because it probably was. Hence why Aunt Minnie's been the same size since I met her when I was a kid. So it didn't work
She
for her
has
either.
been.
I don't think her weight's
Her
gonna
hair's
change.
been the same way. Her weight been the same way since we were young.
Hmm.
Since I was young. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Before I go into the myths that I actually have written down when you're talking, I thought of one that I actually did try. And I even convinced myself that it worked, but it really didn't. And that was the lemonade diet. Has anybody ever tried that one? Okay, so
No.
it's like you literally
Is
make
it the
this
one you
lemonade.
buy? Is
Huh?
it the one you buy? The
Mm-mm,
Hollywood?
mm-mm. You make it
Oh,
yourself. Like you, I can't remember how we made the made the lemonade, but it was like we made the lemonade. I think we might even use our juicer, but you made the lemonade, and that's all you drink all day long. But you started the day with the salt flush, where you put like a certain number of tablespoons in a certain amount of water, and you drink that, and within like I think an hour or two is supposed to make you go to the bathroom. And then all day long, all you drink is this lemonade mixture. I had maple, it had maple syrup, lemon, and just water. And I think we had to juice it or something. I don't know. Either way. And you do it for 7 days. And did I lose weight? Yeah, because I wasn't eating food. Like if we really put logic to some of the things that we do, then we'll
Yeah.
realize like it's not that this diet or this thing is doing something special in our body. It's just that we're not eating food. We're in a calorie deficit by
Mhm.
default. Therefore, yes. But then what happens the next week when you go back after that 7 days is over and then you go eat in real food? You just
there was
Everything
gain
you
the
two.
weight
lost
back.
come back.
There was two other ones I tried. I tried the and I'm this is besides pills because I did try diet pills back in the day. I don't know, like oh, but I tried the green smoothie cleanse. I never made it to day 10. That's how I know about the saltwater flush, and I didn't do it then, but I do it now.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks to Tina.
Mhm.
And the other one was I did try that nasty. Okay, you have the lemonade diet, but there was the Hollywood diet
Mm.
which was a liquid and you put it in water and then I try to do the master cleanse. The
That's it.
master cleanse.
That's the lemonade one, the master cleanse.
Oh, okay, because it
That's
sounded
what
similar,
it is.
but you
It's
call it
called,
something. Okay,
yeah.
because girl, let me
I
tell
couldn't
you, I
remember
tried
the name of
those.
it. It was
I'm not
I called
doing.
it the
And the green smoothie cleanse is like honestly, it's so much fruit that you're buying and vegetables, and even though you want to eat like that on a regular, I feel it's kind of selfish if you have a family and you're just not, you didn't set yourself up to do it that way. So it's like it's not gonna be successful either, if you do it like. But yeah, no, no, no. But detoxing, I believe in. I
right,
feel
right.
detoxing is good, but that was bad. Hey,
Yeah.
Carla.
Hey
Yeah,
Carla.
I
But
tried
yeah,
the green smoothie cleanse too. Day 3, I about passed out.
mm,
So they was like, we gotta go get her something to eat. I was at
Right.
work and they was like, we gotta go get her something to eat. Baby, I ain't stopped eating
Mm-hmm.
that whole day because I knew what it was, that I was
Mm-hmm.
detoxing my medicine, my everything out of my body. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
tried that one too.
Yeah, I did
Still
that one.
got
Did
the
that one.
book somewhere.
I did those a couple of times. Yeah, I still have the books. I did that a couple of times, but only to realize, like, especially as a diabetic, that's not loading up on a bunch of smoothies with a bunch of fruit in it is just not a smart idea, right? And this
Right.
session is not, let me just say this session is not to knock any one like influencer or food thing or whatever it is, but it's just to bring to light sometimes the things that we hear about that's like trendy and all these things like that. They are a quick fix, right? But it has an expiration date on it. And that expiration date is as soon as you start eating regular food again, as soon as you start going back to your regular habits again. And I know, Jess, you talked about detoxing, right? And I don't have necessarily a problem with detoxing, but that is actually my first myth. And the first myth says that talks about detox, that you need to do some kind of detox or cleanse or to rid your body of toxins. And the reality is our liver and our kidneys do that naturally. That's what they're designed to do. They're designed to eliminate the toxins from our body. The problem is we consume way more toxins than it's able to get rid of in the time frame. So when we're eating a clean diet and we are trying to eliminate a lot of the processed foods and the toxins that we put in our body is going to naturally, thanks for turning your camera on, letting us see your pretty face, Carla.
Yes, beautiful. Beautiful.
But yeah, so our kidneys and our liver will naturally do that. The main thing is if we're putting the right things in our body. Now, granted, we live in the world where it's full of toxins. You go outside and breathe the air, you're breathing in toxins. I mean, perfect example, I live literally a block from a major pharmaceutical company. I have no idea what they put in the air when those little, whatever they make in the labs and, stuff comes into the air. I have no idea. So the reality is we're going to always be exposed to some kind of toxins, whether it's through the, skincare products that we use or the foods that we eat. But one thing that we can't control what's in the air when we step foot outside. We can control what kind of skincare that we use, but that's a whole different topic for another time. But we can also control what foods we put in our body and how toxic they are. So if we put the right things in and try to limit the amount of toxins, our body will naturally get rid of the toxins through our natural processes that the kidneys and the liver does. So those people feel like every month I need to do a detox. Every month I need to detox. Unless you're just eating a bunch of garbage and you're just exposing yourself to a bunch of garbage, you don't need to detox every single month. You don't need to detox all the time. Maybe, once a quarter or something like that. I've known people who've done that, or people who do like a couple times a year. But to have to detox every single month or all the time, you shouldn't have to do that if you're putting the right thing in your body. Go ahead, Jess.
I was just going to say, sometimes you may think that you need detoxing and you just need a good go to the bathroom. And that's where that saltwater flush I recommend. If you're home, because for me, I've had digestive issues. I've tried laxatives. I tried prune juice. I tried eating prunes. But if it's like really, that's something that with some water, like you drink water, it's just like, it's so amazing. However, I got to get the Celtic salt because the regular salt is it's too salty. I can't finish the whole concoction,
You can also do sea salt. Like sea salt.
Oh, I didn't think about that too. You're right. Because the taste is like, so I'll make it, but I don't finish the whole thing. But I just need enough that when I drink that water, then it's like good. But sometimes that's why I was thinking all the time, oh, I need a detox. But no, it's just, I don't have a gallbladder. Hello. I don't have a gallbladder. So, when you don't have that, you don't realize what that function really does until you don't have it. And I didn't feel the repercussions till a year later. They did not express to me in the emergency room the urgency of maintenance or whatever. It was like, oh, we got to hurry up and take it out. And that was it. So,
and that's the unfortunate part. A lot of times they don't tell us at least not in detail, all the things we need to do once things have been changed in our body, right? Like even I use my experience with being diabetic. When I was first told I was pre-diabetic, I was like, oh, okay, well, that just means I don't have it. Now what? And I just continue living life like normal, like, right? But somebody should have said, okay, you need to do this, 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 and this. And if you do that, you'll never develop into diabetes, right? And even once I became diabetic again, they're like, oh, watch what you eat. Don't eat this, don't eat that. But nobody ever said, you need to go work out. You need to do this. You need to do that. Things like that. So sometimes, again, this is where what we do is so important, because it's about educating people. And it's about, sometimes people just need somebody to hold their hand and walk them through it. Right. And and there's nothing wrong with that, because the medical profession, and I'm not knocking that at all either, they're just trained to do what they're told to do. And so a lot of that doesn't include nutrition training. I've heard doctors say that they've only taken they only took one nutrition class their whole year, all the years they were in school, maybe one nutrition class. So this is where sometimes we got to do our own research or tap into those people who are more knowledgeable on those type of things. Okay. Myth number 2, carbohydrates make you fat.
You don't know.
Are you saying something, Callie? Oh, hold on. Let me meet her real quick. Hold on a sec. So yeah, myth number 2, carbohydrates make you fat. Do y'all believe that? Or do y'all think that, do you think it's a fact or a myth?
You're saying it's a myth, but I feel it's true.
You feel like it's true? Who else said that?
I was going to say,
I think it's the truth too, but I don't know.
What did you say, Renee?
It's not a one carb fits all type thing. It's there's healthy carbs and there's unhealthy carbs. And it's what you do with those carbs that makes the difference.
That is a great answer, Renee. It's not a cut and dry answer. The fact is, our body needs carbohydrates. Actually, carbohydrates is our main source of energy, if we're going to be honest. So carbohydrates alone do not make us fat. It's the kind of carbohydrates we put in our body, and it's how much we consume is what makes us fat. So I know we everybody's like keto, 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 low carb, low carb, low carb. And yes, we need to kind of limit how much, but at the end of the day, carbohydrates is what our muscle uses for energy. That's where we get most of our energy from throughout the course of the day. So it's not the carbohydrates itself that makes us fat. Now, if you're eating, let's say, for example, white rice with every single meal, enriched white rice. And the reason I threw that word enriched in, because enriched means they processed it by taking out all the good stuff and filling it with a bunch of bad stuff, right? That's anytime you see enriched on anything, just hear my voice saying they took out all the good stuff and put in a bunch of bad stuff. Okay. So if you're eating, let's say, enriched white rice at every meal, gotta have rice in the morning, gotta have rice in the afternoon, gotta have rice in the, okay. Yeah. That's gonna make you fat. Okay. Especially depending on how much you eat. You're eating white bread at every single meal. Yes. That's gonna make you fat. You're eating candy and sugar and all this stuff every single day. Yes, that's going to make you fat. But if you're eating, let's say, a sweet potato, or you're eating brown rice for lunch with your meal or something like that, that's not going to make you fat. We need that. As a matter of fact, we need that as a source of energy. So that's not what makes us fat. It's the kind of carbohydrates that we eat. Jess?
So I have to ask, because I'm a sandwich person and I haven't quite found the wrap for my life. So is it like the honey wheat or like the wheat bread is, so like, I don't want to say, is it like, not I want to say
Carlissa's face,
but like the having like two slices with like my tuna protein, whatever, and like that should be okay, right? And not be too bad if I'm not eating.
Again, it all depends on what kind of bread. Here's what I'm gonna suggest, right? And it doesn't even have to be the exact same bread. Got it. But you want to look for, like, I made my daughter go get my bread out of the freezer.
Oh wow!
So I'm not telling you don't eat bread. Just choose the right kind of bread, okay? And me personally, I'm not eating this every single day, but again, my circumstances are different from yours, right? I'm diabetic, so I shouldn't probably be eating bread every single day. But sometimes I want a sandwich. I love a good egg and cheese sandwich or something like that, or even if I got tuna or I got, turkey meat or something. But what I look for is I look for breads that, like this one says 21 whole grains and seeds. So if you're the type of person, like me personally, all my bread is going to be like whole grains. It's going to be seeded. I look for, like this particular one is organic. It's thin sliced. I really try to pay attention to what the ingredients are. It's like organic whole grain wheat, organic cracked whole, what else it says? I'm sorry. Whole grains. It's got flax seeds. It's got sunflower seeds. It's got sesame seed, pumpkin seeds, all kinds of seeds in it, right? And I try to make sure that it definitely should not say enriched. And you got to also be kind of careful. Like even with this one, it has 12 grams of whole grains, 2 grams of fiber, 3 grams of protein, and 220 milligrams of omega-3s, right? So I say that to say bread itself is not bad. It's the kind of bread. So regular wheat bread, I would stay away from. Honey wheat bread, I would stay away. Honey in itself, the fact that it says honey lets you know. look at the sugar content.
Value. I blame the great value. Oh man. Okay.
Right. And this one, honestly, and I know sometimes these breads can be expensive, but I get this one from Aldi's. I think I paid $3 and some change for it. It's not even super expensive. So there are ways to find it. I know a lot of people, say again, Marcy?
I'm trying to take a screenshot of that.
Oh, hold on. Okay, let me.
Is that the Dave's Killer Bread?
It's like Dave's, but it's the Aldi's brand. It's like Dave's Killer Bread. You get
the
it?
Reason I was going to say that is because Jessica specifically, because I know that Publix is based in Florida, so you guys have a lot of them,
right?
And
no, we do.
But typically they're expensive.
Yes.
But that bread happens to be, yes, I agree.
Okay.
But they have that bread, buy one, get one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Dave's can be kind of pricey, but look for it on sale or also look for breads in the freezer section, like the Ezekiel bread. I know they can be a little bit pricier too, but that's kind of what you want to look for if you're going to go for breads, right? And even with Dave's, they'll have like, you know how like, I can't remember what company has like the little thin, little round circle thin bagels, whatever. I think Dave even has a version of that if you want to like keep it like super thin so it's not too much bread. Like even that one that I just showed you, it says thin slice. So it's not the normal thick slices. It's sliced even thinner. So that way you can get the bread without having too much bread. So
they actually have it because that's what I bought when I saw it with BOGO. They actually have the thin sliced in Dave's now.
Oh, okay.
I think you're thinking about Thomas's. They have those bagels.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking about. But Dave's has a version of that. So it has the whole grains. So that's what you want to look for. Because I know they try to marketing. We're going to talk about that in a second too, because I have that on my list to talk about. Marketing can be very misleading, right? They've learned that they can just throw certain words on the packaging and they can get away with it, even though it's very misleading. There's like, it may not be anything healthy in that ingredients list, but because they throw a certain word on it, they can get away with classifying it as healthy, so to speak, even though there's nothing healthy in it. This is where we have to really read the ingredients list, right? Because they will play a lot of mind games with us and trick us into thinking like, oh, this is good, this is better. Like a perfect example is wheat bread. Oh, well, they told me not to eat white bread. Okay. But when you read the ingredients on some of the wheat breads that they have, it's no better. The first ingredient is enriched white flour. But because they put a little bit of wheat flour in it, it's okay, right? They can call it wheat bread, but they've already added a whole bunch of other stuff in there. Kelly, you unmuted. Were you trying to say something?
Yes. Because with me, The bread you named, it sound real good, but
Yeah, I know the
for me
seeds. It
having
won't.
it
It's
out,
just not for you. Yeah, it's just not for you.
so what bread should I be eating?
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. You gotta give me some research on that one. You're gonna have to read labels and
Well,
see.
I don't, but with me, I really don't eat a lot of bread anyway.
So that it may not be an issue. And truth be told, when people have certain medical issues on that level, I hate to say it this way, you might have to make your own. Like sometimes it really is that deep. Like if depending on what your own personal medical issues are, it may not be a solution in the store for you. The answer might be, let me get some almond flour, let me find some ingredients, and let me figure out how to make my own bread. If that's important to you, right? This is where we're gonna have to like do some things that we wouldn't normally do. And there's a saying that we like to say, to get what we've never had, we got to do what we've never done. So if that means I got to get in the kitchen and make my own bread so I can have a sandwich because none of the ones in the store are good for me, then that might be what we have to do, right?
Yeah.
The seeded bread doesn't work for you, but some of the other ones may not be healthy. So it might just be like, let me get some almond flour and some yeast and figure out how to make some bread. It really is that. It all depends on what your personal goal is. It's sometimes it's really that deep.
Yeah, like I found a good not a wrap, but I found a good taco thing where the carbs were low. Now I gotta go back to the ingredients because Carlissa brought. I gotta go back to the ingredients, but the carbs were low, the sugar was low. It wasn't huge. I was I didn't feel like because like I like to have I ain't gonna lie, I like to have my tacos, and then I like to have my sandwiches because like sandwiches for me are quick. Like I'm working at home. So I just need something quick for me to keep going. And so I figure, make a and I like sandwiches. I grew up on sandwiches, like going to the store, bodega, get a sandwich. They call it Cubans down here. It's not the same as what I'm used to up there. I'm from Jersey. Like, no, like, I'm from Passaic.
Okay, I live in Jersey.
Near North. I know you live in Rahway. I've never been to Rahway, but I did live out like Newark area, East Orange. I lived over there and stuff like that. But yeah, so like we go to the store, we get a sub, we get a sandwich. It's just like whatever. When I got a Cuban out here and they put all this other stuff, like whoa, I just wanted turkey and cheese. But I'm a sandwich girl, and I don't necessarily want to give that up for having because that's precise. That means I have a certain amount, of this. I'm gonna have 2 slices of bread. It's easy to log in my Fitness Pal. That's why you know what I'm saying? And I'm keeping track of that. So that's that. So yeah, but Kelly, I'm still on a search for that. I'm still on a search for like a couple of things, and I'm not going to give up because I really truly believe that I will find it, and maybe I will find somebody that is willing to make it and sell it to me cheap or whatever. But like, I'm going to find these things because these are the things that I need. Like, I have to find my coffee solution. I got to find my protein. Like, I'm talking Kelly, I got to find my protein solution. I can't do protein drinks. I've been trying different ones, but I can't give up.
I don't have no problem getting no protein. I get protein every day.
So here's what I would say to you, Jess. Okay. I don't want to sound militant, like stop everything now. Don't eat this, don't eat that, right? That's not the goal, right? When you talk about how sandwiches are easy for you, especially for somebody who works from home, if you're getting results, I'd rather you change that over time than to think like, oh my God, because I don't have the right bread, I got to eat something else. And now you're like out of sorts and you're like, I don't know what to eat. Now I'm just going to eat whatever at lunchtime because Carlissa said I can't have sandwiches no more. That's not what I'm saying.
No,
I'm joking.
We here, Carlissa.
I'm joking. So even with your tacos, have your tacos, right? Enjoy your tacos. And if right now it's with the low carb taco shells, use that until you find a better alternative, because this is about progress, right? Not perfection. So everything starts somewhere. So you went from the regular taco shells to now I got low carb taco shells, right? And now when you read the ingredients list, you might see something on them like, dang, Carlos is not, she gonna say I shouldn't eat that. Okay, put that out your mind.
No, I'm gonna finish them. I'm gonna finish them because I paid for them.
Not only that, even if the next time you want tacos, if that's what you buy, now that's fine, because you've already took one step. You took the step from whatever the regular was to this, right? And then the more you go through this journey, you're going to look for other solutions. Don't feel like you got to have the exact answer right now. It's all or nothing. because that's how I used to operate, on an all or nothing, because operating from all or nothing will have you go back to the old ways, and we don't want that. So progress is I went from the regular shells to now I found some low carb ones. Now after I read the ingredients, I might
feel low calorie too. They low calorie too.
See, that's what I'm saying.
And they're not bad.
That's progress. So when you read the ingredients list, you might be like, I ain't feeling some of these ingredients, but I'm going to use them for now because they're better than what I used to have. Right.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to keep on the search for something even better. That's what I want from everybody. I don't want everybody to feel like you got to go from 0 to cold turkey, like to 1,000 all at one time and adopt all the changes right away. That's not realistic. Okay. And a lot, and in my opinion, from my own experience, that sets you up for failure, feeling like I got to go from all or nothing right away. Progress over perfection. So the progress is I went from the regular to the low calorie, low carb. And then later on, if I find a better version, then I'm going to adopt that. Okay. So don't feel like I'm like,
oh no. If I get that impression, I hope I don't, because honestly and truthfully, I'm at a point in my life where I'm gonna work on what I can from what I have and what God has given me, and then keep it moving with that. Like I'm my mindset, like I'm focused. I'm more focused than I've ever been. So
good. And then just tap into us and tap into your community. And if you have, especially when it comes to if it comes to any of it, but definitely with the nutrition part, if you have a question or if you feel conflicted or you feel anything, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Okay. Even no matter what it is, like it doesn't always have to be nutrition either. Because I would rather somebody reach out to me and we can talk about it and find a solution versus feel like I got to do it this way or I can't do it at all. Right.
And then when we walk at noon, then I end up venting about all the stuff I be going through, and Marcy, Carla, and Renee be listening. And
it's okay, vent. That's how you get it out, though. It's not wrong with
it. I appreciate y'all, but okay. Oh, okay. You gotta move on.
So the next one, fact or fiction or myth, right? Fat-free means healthy.
A lie.
Anybody else? Yeah, I'm seeing head shaking.
I think so. In my head, I do.
Actually, that's a myth. Fat-free does not mean healthy. Right. It goes back to what we talked about with the carbs. What kind of fats are you talking about? Right? Are we talking about
because they're tricking us again?
Yes, they are tricking us again. They've been playing Jedi mind tricks with us for a long time. And now we got to debunk all of that, right? That's what stuff like what classes like this is about, right? Because again, just like Renee talked about with the carbs, it all depends on what kind of fats are you using. Are you having deep fried chicken and French fries? That's not good, right? That's not healthy. Fried fish, don't get me wrong, I love a good piece of fried fish, especially if it's fried hard, right? But we can't have that every day. We can't have that all the time. So have fried foods and other things that are dipped and dripped in all kinds of sauces and all kinds of butters and all those things.
Carlissa, everybody didn't eat dinner. Everybody didn't eat dinner.
It's okay. I haven't eaten dinner yet either. I did cook, but I haven't eaten it yet. So my stomach is going to start grumbling too. So if y'all hear it, just ignore me. Okay. Just ignore me. But if you're talking about avocado, if you're talking about sauteing vegetables or meat in olive oil or avocado oil, we're talking about some of the fats we get from, say, I don't know what else, nuts. Let's see, those type of things. Those are healthy fats and we need those, right? And here's what happened many, many years ago. They went on a whole, probably in the 70s, they went on this whole campaign about fat-free, right? That's when, I think in the 80s, we started seeing everything had a label that said fat-free. But what we didn't realize is they replaced the fat with sugar. They replaced the fat with high fructose corn syrup. They replaced the fat with a bunch of fillers to make it still taste good. And they wanted to sell us on the idea of fat-free. But we actually need some fat in our bodies, right? We need healthy fats and we need quality fats, right? But if we're just eating deep fried everything, no, we can't have that. That's the unhealthy fats. But we actually do need fats. And truth be told, if you read a label and if you're going to buy something in the store and it reads fat-free, just go ahead and put it back because it's probably not good for you. Matter of fact, don't even listen to me. turn it over and read the ingredients label and see what it has in it. And then you tell me, would you rather have the fat or would you rather have all that stuff that's in it, right? So that's where we have to be like, again, when we talked about marketing before. Yeah. Marketing has an agenda, and the agenda is not healthy. Most of the time it's not about health, right? It's not about health and wellness. So we have to look at like who's putting this out and what's their agenda, because fat-free does not mean healthy. But we've been tricked into thinking that we need to eliminate fats, and because the label says, oh, it's fat-free, let me buy this, right? And it's not healthy. It's just a bunch of, especially if it's in a package. If it comes in a package, you can hang it up. It's not good. It's one thing to eat like an apple, and of course that's fat-free. But it's a whole other thing to buy some stuff, some cookies in a package that say fat-free, and you convince yourself that you can have these cookies because it's fat-free, right? It's healthy. It's fat-free. Let me eat the whole pack of cookies because it say fat-free. No. That's that again, Jedi mind tricks, right?
Yeah. I have a question.
Yes, Carla.
Two things. When you said fat-free, so are you saying you might well just get the real thing?
It all depends on what you're getting. It all depends on what, like, so what I'm talking about is healthy fats versus non-healthy fats, right? So so if you're asking me, for example, I'm gonna use this, and I already started talking about cookies, and I know we're hungry, it's okay. I already started talking about cookies. Are you talking about getting fat-free Oreos versus regular Oreos? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying leave the Oreos on the shelf.
Actually, I was talking to like beans or something like that. Sometimes it has fat-free, and then sometimes it does not.
That's interesting.
So are you saying that it's better to get the one without that has fat-free, or the one that's regular?
Me personally, I've never seen beans that said fat-free on the label, but I also I barely buy them in a can. So if it, like, say for example with that, and we're going to use that as the example, if you see a can of beans and it says fat-free, turn it over, read the label. Then take a regular can of the same kind of beans, turn that over and read the label. Try to compare what's on the ingredients list and see when they took the fat out of those beans, which I don't know how they did it, but when they took the fat out of the beans, what did they replace it with, right? What is in that ingredients list that would have you say, this is not good for me, right? So if you turn that fat-free label over and you're reading a bunch of chemicals or words that you can't pronounce, but yet you turn over the label of the beans that are not fat-free, and it's all natural ingredients, like it's just beans, water, and salt, then go with the regular. Okay, that's where we have to, again, reading our ingredients list is gonna really come in handy, especially if you're buying something in a package. But again, when we're talking about fats, we're talking about healthy fats versus non-healthy fats, and we're also talking about anything that comes in a package. Typically, if it says fat-free, cookies, cakes, crackers, in this case beans, you got to read the label, see what did they put in that. That's gonna have you like, that's not gonna be healthy. And when we're looking,
what about sugar? Because
I was just about to say,
I was told that instead of having that fake sugar, you might well have real sugar. Is that true, or?
Okay, so in my opinion, yes, I would choose real sugar over artificial sweeteners every day. And I shouldn't even be eating that much sugar. But if I have a choice between, like, say, for example, last week we went to my son and daughter's banquet, performing arts banquet. At the end of the night, they're like, do you want coffee? Of course, I never turn down coffee. And then they have the little sugar thing on the table. You got raw natural sugar. You have the white sugar, what is it, Domino's, whatever sugar package. And then you have, I think it was Splendor, Sweet and Low, and something else. Give me the raw natural sugar. I'm not using Sweet and Low. I'm not using Splendor. Those are artificial sweeteners. They're made up in a lab. You don't know what they put in them. They're not healthy. They're not good for us. And truth be told, some of them have had studies show that they could lead to different types of cancers. So no, you're never going to have me suggest artificial sweeteners. And since
then I'm throwing my Splendor out.
So here's what I say. Monk fruit I actually did a class on this, a couple of weeks ago. Monk fruit, allulose. For those who are not diabetic and just need a little bit of sugar, you can do raw cane sugar, something, just not artificial sweeteners. Okay. Let's try to stay away from the regular sugar too a little bit. But if you have to have, if you only got like regular sugar compared to artificial sweeteners, I'm not choosing artificial sweeteners. I'm just not. That's not. And since we're talking about it, when I talk about reading labels and we talk about fat free, okay, they took out the fat, but what did they put it into place, right? Same thing goes with sugar. When you get something, you buy it and it says sugar free or 0 sugar, but it's sweet. You have to ask yourself, how did they make it sweet, right? So again, turn over the label. Read that label. What did they replace the sugar for? Because it's not sweet. If it's not a natural, something that's naturally sweet, they had to sweeten it with something, right? So now you need to read the label. Did they sweeten it with sucralose? That's a artificial sweetener. Did they sweeten it with monk fruit? That's good. Okay, that's a natural sweetener. Did they sweeten it with stevia? That's fine. It's a natural sweetener. But when you're talking about the I don't know why I'm drawing a blank, but sucralose is the main one that comes to my mind, but there's other artificial sweeteners. If they sweeten it with that, I suggest stay away from it, right? So, and that's how they get us with a lot of stuff. They say sugar-free, 0 sugar, sugar-free, 0 sugar, but then they filled it up with a bunch of artificial sweeteners. So is that really better, right? And then obviously honey is a good natural sweetener. If you like, say, for example, I use yogurt as an example because I always think about that, but I'll get plain yogurt and sweeten it with honey because that's a natural sweetener. So yes, Jess.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just wanted to mention a really important thing when reading labels to watch too. Contains bioengineered ingredient. I had to stop certain because I had Googled it, just like when you buy turkey from ground turkey or like even ground beef. I don't do ground beef, I do ground turkey, but you know how you do ground turkey and it come in a little roll. So I looked it up and the process that it says it used, when I Googled to find out what that meant, girl, I'm getting it in the regular little thing. I don't care if I don't get a lot. I don't care if it's $2 more than the $1.99. Like it's so, but I just wanted to mention that because I don't know if that will come up, but that's one thing to really watch out for because we don't. It's saying make it contain about. What do you mean bioengineer? What bioengineered product are you talking about? Is in my food?
Like the turkey probably itself. They'd have made some kind of clone of a turkey in a lab somewhere.
No. But I've seen that in other products. Like
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It basically is their fancy way of saying we made some stuff up in a lab and we put it in this. Now, is it 100% bioengineered or is it 2%? Either way, we don't know. We don't know if it was all made up in the lab or just a portion of it. But anytime you see bioengineered, and trust me, I'm going to use this is water, so it don't have it on it, but it's going to be in a teeny tiny print somewhere underneath the ingredients list.
Bold print. It's going to be black bold print.
It's going to be bold, but it's going to be little. It's going to be written little, but it's going to be in bold print. And it's going to say contain or may contain bioengineered ingredients. And basically what that means is something was made up in the lab, is not real, is not natural, and they put it in this product. And again, they don't tell you what percentage of it is bioengineered. So it could be all of it for all you know. Okay. So definitely look for that. I mentioned that on something else recently. I can't remember if it was like on one of my social.
When we was talking about, I want to thank sugars.
Yeah, it was something I don't know if it was on one of these sessions or one of my social media sessions. I mentioned bioengineered ingredients, and you want to look for that. And when you
remember you mentioned it in one of these sessions too.
So then that's why sometimes too, when you're reading labels, when it says does not contain GMO, that's a good sign. You still got to kind of read what else is in there. But yeah, GMO used to be their fancy word for made up in the lab because that just means genetically modified ingredients. But yeah, so those are the things we have to look at. Let's see. I got one more myth or possible myth. Let me see which one. So this one is interesting. So it says, true or false? High protein diets are always better. And as a caveat, it says more protein equals faster weight loss and muscle gain. Truth or fact? I mean, myth or fact?
I'm thinking it's a myth, because just because you're eating protein don't mean you're going to gain the muscle. Do it?
Who else has an opinion on that?
I think it's kind of in between fact and myth, because I mean, you can eat the protein, but that ain't gonna guarantee you gonna gain muscle or lose weight.
Okay.
Because it depends on what you're putting with it.
Okay. Okay.
And what you're doing, because if you're on a high protein diet, the muscle come by lifting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're right. Like, so the reality is excessive protein can be harmful, and balance is key, right? So if you're a lifter and you're lifting every day and all this stuff, yes, you need a high protein diet. You need a high protein diet because you want the gains, right? Also, eating more protein when you're trying to lose weight is also important too, because again, building the muscle, it burns the fat, but also eating more protein, you should be naturally like kind of eliminating the carbs a little bit, or at least lowering the carbs. I shouldn't say eliminating, because we already talked about that. We need carbs, right? So the key in that is that you need to have balance, right? So we need to have a balanced diet. So I know there's a diet that's going on right now that I've been hearing people talk about called a carnivore diet, right? Where all they're doing is eating meat and meat byproducts, and there's no carbs in that. There's no no vegetables hardly. Like, it's just meat and meat products on top of meat. And I just look at it and don't get me wrong, people supposedly are losing incredible amounts of weight really, really fast. But you got to think, is that healthy? And can you eat like that forever? Right. And we don't do fad diets over here. Over here, we're looking to create lifestyles, right? So if it's not something you can maintain forever, like, you really shouldn't be doing that. And again, what is that doing inside of your body? Because we talked about, I think last week, how long it takes for certain types of meat to actually fully digest and break down in your body. And if you're just kind of loading it up, like, you just gonna be, after a while, just when we talked about toxic, right? You're gonna be toxic inside out. And at least that's that's not a professional opinion. That's my personal opinion, right?
And there's no variety either for people like me who only eat 2 types of meat, chicken and ground turkey.
Right. Yeah. You would never.
I can only do but so much.
No, you couldn't do this diet, because when I see people, they eating like huge steaks, and this is definitely not a meat, like a chicken and turkey diet. It's not that at all. Like,
I'm already struggling trying to come up with 3. I'm struggling trying to figure out how to do like the chicken this way, do the chicken. Like, nah, I'm okay.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It is a lot, right? So again, I'm not here to bash any certain thing. I want us to think about things differently. Like, we're not hopping on trends. We're not going to hop on the next fad diet. We're not doing that, because at the end of the day, is it something you can be consistent over a long period of time? You have to ask yourself. Just because they're talking about it on TikTok, that don't mean you should be doing it. And that's one of the key points I wanted to make. When you hear about these things, you need to, number one, evaluate, where is this coming from? Is this a reputable source? Like, who is saying this, and where did they get their information from? So you got to think about the source. Where are you getting it from? Are you getting it from like a health magazine? Are you getting it from a wellness site or some kind of health site, right? An organization who has a site online that they can back it up with some kind of statistics or something, right? Or are you getting it from some person that you don't even know on TikTok and Instagram or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Also, like, do you know somebody personally? Ask yourself too, do I know somebody personally who has ever done this and actually got results that lasted? Because we can get results, but if they don't last, what's the point? Right? Just like we talked about, say, master cleanse and all this other stuff. Yeah, you gonna lose weight in 10 days without eating, but as soon as you start eating again, then what? Right?
That and then some.
Right, that and then some. Right, exactly. Sometimes double. Then the other thing is, like, anytime it says it offers like miracle results and claims to be like a quick fix, right? Oh, I lost 40 pounds in 1 month. Come on, guys. We know that that's not realistic. And even if they really did, what did they do to do that? And is it healthy? And 99 times out of 10, it's out of 100, it's not healthy. And we don't want to do that to our bodies and keep like the whole lose weight, gain weight, lose weight, gain weight. That's not good for our heart. It's not good for our body. So you got to think about that stuff. So do your research, do your homework. I know it, you know, it sounds, oh, that sounds like a great idea. Let me try it. But have you stopped to think about like, where did this come from? Let me do a little bit of research. Sometimes we got, like, I'm a very logical person. So I'm not one of the ones that just jump on a trend. Usually if it's a trend, I'm not doing it. If everybody's talking about it, most of the time I'm not doing it. That's just by default. And that's just how my brain works. No right or wrong to it. That's just, I'm not a hop on the trend type of girl regardless anyway. But when it comes to something about our health and wellness, we got to be willing to do some research and do some homework. Just because everybody else talking about it don't mean you're supposed to do it, right? Then we got to think about who's the marketer and who is the person like putting this out. Like, is this person on TikTok talking about this trend or this idea because they're getting paid for it? Like, right. So if they're getting paid or some kind of kickback from the company and they're trying to sell you on this latest diet pill or this latest, you know, whatever product or whatever, you got to think, okay, they're getting paid for this, right? And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing because we all got products and services that we market, right? But if they're offering this quick fix and it's miracle and all this stuff like this, like, how much are they getting back from it? And especially if they don't look like they're using it themselves, right? We just got to use some logic and think about that. Be aware of like before and after photos that just don't look realistic, right? Like how much of that is Photoshop? Or let's say they show you a before picture and an after picture, but you can't see the person's face or head. How do you even know it's the same person? Anybody can, you know what I'm saying? Like if I cut the head off, you have no idea who the before was and who the after is. It could be two totally different people, you know, so you got to just kind of use some logic. Yeah, go ahead, Jess. I think you're muted if you're talking.
Okay, I was trying to, I use the raise my hand feature because I always keep talking when not be, but this is one, and this is just because this is a personal thing for me. I don't know if you know or if you can guide me in a way. I'm trying to see, like, is there something that we can do to help with the stomach? Because that's it's in my way. Like, I know some people do say lemon water or apple cider vinegar, like to assist in that. But I'm just curious on your take on what, like, should I be doing like 450 sit-ups? Like, because listen, I need that to go. Like, that is where my weight is. And everything else is just toning for me.
Okay, so here's what I've always heard. Unfortunately, we can't target where we lose our weight.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm gonna shoot it real. Like I'm not a. How do I say it? I don't want to. I was going to say something I'm not gonna say because we're live, right?
Okay.
I want to be truthful and honest with people, right? I don't want to just make up stuff, right? I just want to give it to you straight. I'm gonna say just stick with the process, and over time, hopefully that's where it comes off. But at the end of the day, we can't target. And don't get me wrong. I drink apple cider vinegar. I drink sometimes water with chia seeds in it. I do those things too, but I'm not doing it expecting a miracle, right? I do it because I think it helps with my digestion. Do I feel like I've lost inches in my waist because I drink lemon water with chia seeds in it in the morning with a little splash of apple cider vinegar? No, I don't. So I'm not going to sit there and tell you that it's a miracle, right? Because that's just not how life works. Consistency is what works. Like a lot of times we don't get the results that we want because we spend years stopping and starting, right? So if we adopt, like I'm gonna keep saying this over and over and over again, a lifestyle, right? So there's no stopping to a lifestyle. You do it for life, right? Over time, you're gonna get results. Now, where those results are gonna be, am I gonna sit here and tell you it's gonna all be in your stomach? I don't know. No, I can't say that. I don't, right? So I would say just keep doing the workouts. I will say when I work out consistently with the strength training, But again, my body is different. I see it all over. I see it in my stomach. I see it everywhere. But again, everybody's body is different. So where most of your weight loss is going to come from, I can't tell you where that's going to be. And we don't have a magic pill or a bullet to say, make it come off of her stomach, right? Yes, we hear all the stuff like the lemon water and there are some people and experts who say, yes, it works. And I'm not going to say it doesn't. I'm going to say I drink it. And I can't say that I personally have, and now granted, I don't drink it every single morning either, but I can't say that it causes my stomach to go down. Do I feel better? Yes, I do. Do I feel like my digestion is better? Yes. Do I feel like it makes me more regular? Yes. So I'm okay with just getting those results, if that makes sense, right? Now, I will say this. I've heard people say, if you're willing to do it, I ain't gonna say waist training, but at least like, say for example, when you are working out, those bands that you can wrap around, it'll help like target area.
I haven't found one that's big enough for me.
Okay.
I've invested, like I have 3 in my room and like I'm too big for them.
Got you. So yeah, other than that, I would just say be consistent, and you are doing that. You're being consistent with the walking. You're being consistent with the eating. If you're not strength training, please strength train. Because honestly, that's where I saw miracles happen for my body with strength.
No, I am.
Okay, good. But are you strength training heavy though? Like, and I say that to say, start where you can. But if we're only working out with 3-pound and 5-pound weights, you're not going to get the results you're looking for.
No, I started with 8 and I'm still not comfortable with the 8. So that I'm gonna, when I get comfortable and I feel like, oh, this is nothing, then I'll go ahead and go on to the next. But like I do the 10 kettle one weight when I'm doing squats with it, because I can do it easier that. But when it comes to the other ones, like doing the regular, like I'm doing 8, but then on my legs, I can do one move with 20 and the other with 40. So is different. So yeah, like, and then I'm going back and forth. So it's like I'll work on my arms for a little bit, then I go work on my legs. Then I go work on my arms a little bit, then work on my leg. And the goal is I try to do at least 30 minutes of it.
That's sure.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Okay, I just thought I would ask, because that is where the discourage comes in. Because you know, all I can sit there and say is, well, at least I had a kid. So, you know, oh, I ain't just get this. But when I really think about it, I mean, I had a big stomach and didn't really look pregnant at 5 months either. I just looked my regular self. So I can understand, you know, but that's kind of like where my, you know, I don't want, it doesn't even have to necessarily be quick, but that's.
So you just got to give yourself time. You got to give yourself time. It's just consistency. And be leery of anybody who promised you quick miracle results. Oh yeah, do this right here, and I promise your stomach will go down in 3 days or 3 months. Like, no, like that's not how life works, unfortunately. So just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing the right stuff. You're strength training. You're doing the cardio. I mean, the walking. You're also eating right. So just keep doing that. And again, there's nothing wrong incorporating the apple cider vinegar. Before, you can do up to 2 tablespoons before meal, 30 minutes before a meal. You can do it first thing in the morning. You can do it at night when you go to bed. I do those things too, but I do it not expecting some kind of miracle result. I do it because I feel like I do feel better when I do it. I think it helps with my digestion. I do it because apple cider vinegar helps regulate blood sugar. So I look for those type of results. And then when the physical results manifest as a result, that's just icing on the cake for me. Does that make sense? Okay. Cool. Let's see. What else do I have for y'all? I think we really much covered the everything. We're not looking for quick fixes. We don't have be leery of things that promise miracle results. And at the end of the day, keep doing what we just said Jess was doing. You want to move your body. You want to eat healthy, whole foods, as much whole foods as possible. Yes, I get it. Sometimes we're going to have to get something that comes in a package. But for the most part, healthy, whole foods. Cook as much as possible. I got it. I eat out sometimes too because I don't feel like cooking. Got it. But if you're going to do it, make healthier choices. Okay. There are places where you can go get lean proteins and you can get vegetables and not spend an arm and a leg. Try that. What else do I have? I think that's pretty much eliminate the minimal processed foods and Practice moderation, not elimination. Any diet that tells you got to cut out all of this one thing, especially if it's a healthy thing, like, okay, I can't eat any fruit whatsoever for the rest of my life. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. Fruit comes from God. I'm pretty sure he wants me to have it. Okay. Now the candy don't come from him, so he don't want me to have that sugar. But he made fruit, so I think he want me to eat it. Okay. So stay away from those things that say you have to eliminate all of something, especially if it's a good something. Now, if they're telling you stay away from candy, yeah, go ahead. That's good. But if it's protein, lean proteins, if it's fruits, vegetables, healthy carbs, and they're like, you can't have any of that, then yeah, that's not how we were designed. Okay. We need balance. Okay. And let's see. And then if you always have questions, or if you have concerns, or you just need advice, seek a professional. You can call me, you can talk to your doctor, you can call Coach Tina. I'm gonna throw Renee out there because she's got a lot of knowledge and information as well. I'm gonna just kind of put her out here since she's on here.
Renee is a lifesaver, man.
Really
she always come through.
Yes.
She really do.
Yes,
Tina
absolutely.
too.
Absolutely. So yeah, this session went to an hour. They're designed to be 30 minutes, but I loved every moment of it, because as long as you're learning, then I'm doing my job. As long as we're having real talk, real dialogue, we are doing, like, I just love it. I love feedback. I love having a discussion. I don't want to get on here and just talk and nobody gives me any feedback. So I don't mind when it goes longer. So do y'all have anything else you want to add before we close out?
I'm gonna have one more thing to say, because I'm just so talkative. I can't help it. That's the way the Lord made me.
It's okay. I'm married to somebody like that, so I'm used to it.
Like I can't, like, but, and I always have questions, like, oh my goodness. But so just out of curiosity, okay, this is the other thing. Can you recommend a decent chip that you could use with salsa? Because I'm a chipaholic, man. I am a chipaholic. Do you understand?
Okay. Oh, here's the thing.
Oh no.
Here's the thing. Everything in moderation, right? Right. So if I sat here and told you I don't eat chips at all, I'd be lying to you. I told you I'm gonna lie to you, right? Just get some tortilla chips, but read the ingredients. Okay. So here's what you do. Don't go get Tostitos. What is it? Tostitos or something?
No,
like that?
I won't buy those, because I looked at the carbs, I looked at how much I could eat, and I looked at the sugar.
Okay. So typically, I can't speak for your grocery store, but my grocery store, when I walk down the chip aisle, I have this side that has the Lay's, the Y's, the Utz, the everything else, right? Then if I look on this side, I have either the ones, the brands that you've never heard of before, or they're just starting to get popular, like Siete and stuff like that, or what is it called? Lesser Evil, or you might even see Simply Lay's. You might see Simply Lay's or something like that.
Okay.
Look at those, turn it over, read the ingredients, and if it just simply has, say for example, okay, so when we talk about chips, right? My daughter likes chips, so I'm like, well, mama, we got to find a healthier version. So she buys the chips that when you read the ingredients label, it simply says potatoes, avocado oil, and salt. Chips with only 3 ingredients, as opposed to the bag of chips that has like 99,000 ingredients in it, right?
Oh my gosh. Oh gosh. What's the name of those chips? Because I gotta try it.
Let me think. Good Health, I think. There's one that's called Good Health, and then there's another one. I can't remember. It comes in a green bag. And I think Siete is like that too. Siete has like few ingredients. Okay. But if you go on that side of the chip aisle, you're going to find some tortillas, right? That can go with your salsa, but read the ingredients. It shouldn't have more than 3 or 4 ingredients in it. It's going to say, corn tortilla, some kind of healthy oil, and salt. They've got them in there. I've bought them before. It's different brands too. They got multiple different brands. I don't know your grocery store like I know mine. But again, this is why I say progress, not perfection, right? Because every so often to say that we're never, ever going to have another chip again a day in our life, it's not realistic, right? But now we got to just flip it over, read the ingredients, and find a better brand.
Okay, because I found that I like chips and salsa, and I can do it in moderation. I just, now that I'm thinking like how we're being more mindful, I just need to find a chip. So now I see what you're saying. So we're gonna narrow that down. That's one, Kelly, that's one for the books.
So that's good. I'm glad you asked that question, Jess, because that is good. Because again, like I said, it's not realistic to think that we're going to cut everything off all the time. We're never going to have any of the things that we enjoyed before. We just have to. And I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago too. Mindful eating, making better choices, right?
Yes.
So it's where can I find a better choice? And the better choices is always going to come from reading your label. So again, there are tortillas out there that only have like 3 ingredients in them. You just got to read the labels and find them. And again, it's usually on the opposite side of the aisle that like the Lay's and all that stuff is on. It's usually like at least in my grocery store, you got all the name brand ones. And then on this side, you got the lesser brand name ones. But those are usually the better versions if you just read the ingredients. That's also where you're going to see like organic salsa. So you'll like, it might be better ingredients in your salsa too. On that side, because it'll say organic or it'll have fewer ingredients or something like that.
Because once I find it, I'm gonna put it in the chat. Just
Okay,
like I did that coffee crate. Like sharing is key. It's not all for us. It's for to share. So,
and that's the point. It's for everybody. Exactly. So if you find something, definitely, no matter whether it's the chips or something else, put it in the chat so everybody can learn from it. Because not everybody has a schedule where they can hop on these type of Zooms or whatever. So sharing is caring.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. So I'm gonna let y'all go because me and Jess have not had dinner yet. So
no, I ain't even cooked. So I'm horrible, Mom.
Oh, and she still needs to cook. So yes, we're gonna let Jess go so she can go cook. I did at least cook. I just gotta go eat. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for joining. Great. This has been one of our best sessions. So thank you. And that's because of y'all. That's because of y'all. So I appreciate you. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.